Hey everyone, welcome to Children of the Most High and the Roxy Files and the Shannon and Roxy or the Roxy and Shannon show, whichever way you want to call it.
Hello,
But
Governor.
hello,
Hello. Hello,
hello.
Governor. Everybody had a
Hey,
good weekend.
real quick, that intro song, I have a request. This is an original that me and my producer have written specifically for the channel, and we really would love to have some electronic beats with it or some backbeats, get a little uplifted. If any of you out there are talented with that kind of thing and would love to submit something, I would love to hear what you have. This song is called An Angel's Prayer. Again, it is an original. And if we get everything done specifically to my tastes, then I get to publish it out into the real world. So, anybody, just hit me up.
She
Community
wanting
post.
to change some stuff up. We making some changes, folks. We got to make a backup channel just in case they come and off with our heads.
I am very attached to this song because it's mine. So, therefore, it's an original, guys. We don't want to do what everyone else is doing.
No. Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. We weren't on Thursday night because the president and was supposed to come on and say something. He spoke like 12 seconds. And so we didn't do a show because we didn't know what was going on. But anyway, we're here today. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Want to start it on a good note. Let's start it with some gratitude today. I want everybody to be thankful for what you have. On the days when you don't have, be thankful for what you do have. And those things that you do have nothing to do with money. It's the people around you, the community that you're with, the fact that you had food to eat today, and that there's somebody out there that loves you. And if you don't know that, we love you. So, see, we are grateful for you. Thank you, Father. I am grateful to be able to come here and to speak. And anybody actually gives a hoot and nanny about what I got to say.
I have no idea if they really care about anything I have to say, but hey, it's all
Well,
good.
see, there's somebody in my crowd, and if he ever listens to this show, he'll know exactly what I'm talking about. He calls me a know-it-all all the time. And I was leaving my mom's house a while ago. He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I gotta go home. I got a show." He says, "Oh, you got a show today?" I said, "I sure do," because he tells me I'm a know-it-all all the time because I beat him in Jeopardy every time we play. And I said, "You know what? There's actually people on the internet that want to listen to what a know-it-all's got to say." Rolled on out the yard. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Got to spend time with my daughter and a lot of her friends from high school and those moms. We were sports moms and cheerleading moms, and we survived proms and first cars, and we had a good time Friday night. We went and saw a band. It wasn't all women, but there was a bunch of women. Bowling Saturday night. Spent today with one of my bonus kids, my mom, and back here with you guys. So I'm very grateful for the people I was able to go out and visit with personally, look eye to eye, and spend some time with this weekend. Did you have some family time?
Yep. That was all I've had is family time and trying to get through work and all that kind of stuff. I am grateful for feeling good today. It's been a little rough. Um, there may be some times where I know I might not be able to come on and then in the next coming weeks until the summertime is over. This heat is really affecting me like very hardcore. So I'm trying to minimize my energy output and keep it chill. So I'm
Girl, I thought I
chill.
was gonna. I thought I was gonna turn into one of them fried eggs on the sidewalk at Goodwill today. It's so hot.
I'm just saying, if you gotta come on and I'm like dying, or vice versa, you know, we'll try and get up on here if we're struggling. But I
Yeah,
am super grateful because I feel good today enough to be on here with you guys.
I'm
Yeah.
grateful I ain't wake up dead today. Here we go. That's a simple one. You can't be anxious or upset if you're grateful. So start every day with that and you start your day all right. All right, folks. It's been a wild weekend with information and things going on and what we think are underhanded sideways communes. So, would you like to start us somewhere, Shannon, since this is your turn today?
Where to start? Well,
Squirrels. It'll all tie together, I'm sure.
there is something that I've come across in the last week here that it's like one of those moments where you're just kind of minding your own business. Of course, you're sitting there speaking to Jesus as you always do in your head, because it's your bestie. It's like, hey, Jesus, blah, blah, blah. Here's my day, and this is my thoughts, and blah, blah, blah. And out of nowhere, I hear in my spirit, look up major, celestial events or anomalies in the year you were born. What? Okay. Like, like, all right. So I look it up. Lo and behold, there's some really wild things that happened in the year of 1981. And right when I was born, there was this thing called the Grand Conjunction or the Great Syzygy. And I was born right then. And all this stuff, all this pumping up of fear before this event happened took place with this book called Jupiter Rising, where this guy was predicting that this event was going to cause some great, gravitational pull, and there were going to be mass earthquakes worldwide, but especially in California and all this stuff. And I mean, even down to the point to where there's a news article right before this event happens where the two stars of Omen 2 are in the paper in a pose together, like the child version and the adult version, which weirdly enough is the day that Sam Neill dies or is announced that he's dead. I am looking this up, and Sam Neill is that guy. He plays Damien in Omen 2. Didn't know this. I didn't even know he had died until a couple of days later. Just a lot of weird stuff, okay? But I'm looking at, and it's in this newspaper article, it's saying like, because in December too, and this particular event, they're supposedly pointing to the second coming of Jesus Christ. And it says this in the paper. And then down below it says the darkness is waiting or something like that, or is ready. And I'm just like, what in the French toast is this? And then there are all these lunar eclipses. And then in December of that year, there was the same kind of thing where this great conjunction syzygy thing happens. And that was like at the same time as when Jesus Christ was supposedly born in that time in Bethlehem and all of that. So it was like, what is going on? So I had to look up all kinds of stuff, and it just kind of reminded me that those of us in the gate programs and who've been sussed out for DNA stuff and all this stuff, these things are also part of the placement in your programs and what they're looking for. It's like it never even occurred to me, but because I'm not into astrology or any of that nonsense, right? But they sure are. They're super into that stuff and have like a lot of faith in those things. And so, as I'm going down the line, I just started to ask myself who else had been part of these celestial events. I mean, 1981 isn't the only time that these things occurred. There are other years that had certain events. And does that have anything to do with what they were looking for in certain programs, certain occult ritual reasons, whatever is, going on? But if any of you guys were born in the late March, early April time of 1981, I would love to talk to you because I just found this out and I'm very curious, but it had a lot of hoopla. Obviously, this big event did not go down where all the mass earthquakes happen, and it didn't have that gravitational pull kind of event or whatever. But why? Why such a buildup? And it's like, I didn't know. I was just born and I wasn't really cognitive or aware of what was going on outside of me as I'm being developed. So, no clue that this chaos is happening where everyone's freaking out of this event. And there I am. I'm born right in this little time period during this thing. And then I realized all my life I've been in, programs of all kinds, not just military, but like, religious and all kinds of things, right? And it's like, does this have something to do with it? Is this in the categories? So I'm just posing a question to you guys. If not only were you possibly born in that time frame, but what time frame were you born in and what was going on celestially? And does that possibly pertain to parts of what project you were put into and why you were sought after in these programs? That was kind of what I just wanted. 1981 here. Hey, just clueless on this event. Right. It was called the Grand Conjunction or the Great Syzygy. And it started March 25th and went into until like April 6th or 7th, some like right around the time of the real New Year. And so it was like a really big deal. And there was this book called Jupiter Rising that was written all about like this whole possibility of this gravitational pull event and all of this kind of stuff. It really scared a lot of people because of this book, even though none of those events happened. But it was just so big in the news. And it's weird because my father was such a nerd for this kind of stuff. And he never mentioned any of this stuff to me. And I would have thought for sure he would have been like, oh my gosh, you were born in this time. It's wild. But then again, he was pretty high at that time in life. So
he might have been under the influence of some substances.
Yeah, he may not have been all there, But so this, and then again, there were several of these massive eclipses. I think two solar eclipses, one that was a partial and one that was a full, and then like two lunar eclipses. And then there was that other event in December that was just like another planetary conjunction. And the whole point of syzygy in the occult, it's such a weird thing. I mean, it actually has meanings in several different fronts. We're talking science, literature, philosophy, all of that stuff. Carl Jung was
like once every 400 years.
Yes.
400 years, that's a long time.
Right. And Carl Jung, right, he was a big occultist, psychology dude. A lot of people might know of the personality breakdowns that he had presented, like INFJ and all that kind of stuff. But he had a huge obsession over what he called the anima and the animus, which it's like the male and female dual energies that are combined. It's again the twinning stuff, right? But it's like the male and female in one. And in this particular time in history, this is considered when the explosion of tech began. They placed it in 1981. And this is the year of the metal rooster in Chinese zodiac. I prefer metal cock personally, but that's me. You know, which is a huge representation of this movement and technology. And so, in for the occult purposes and the esoteric sense, and why these people, because these people are the ones in charge of these programs, these people are the ones that created these programs, these people are the ones who are searching for kids like us for
You
these
mean
purposes.
you mean one of those places that might connect stuff like or collect 23andMe, Ancestry.com? Imagine
Exactly.
that. Then they had a
So
catalog with school pictures that they took of us that they connected to the 23andMe along with our IQ scores. So gosh, I think they were just trying to Jason Bourne us.
for for real. But these events play a big part in their decisions and how they categorize things that we would be part of. Like I've mentioned a few times before, I know that I had been in training to be a high priestess. I'm a natural blonde haired, gray, blue eyed person, fair skinned, that kind of thing, right up the alley already, just in the aesthetics, okay? But the specifics things and their spiritual religion, these things are a big deal to them, and it helps you to understand, you know, in your time, at the moment you were brought into this earth, because it not only does it have categorical effects here on this earth, but why did the Most High, who has control over everything, decide to put you on this earth at that time? Because there is another meaning to it on a much higher level, that is of source, of the Most High, our creator of all, of everything. It is all in his control. So there's a reason on all sides. And I just found it fascinating because this is not something I decided to look up on my own. Okay. This was one of those moments where I hear the Holy Spirit say, "Hey, look this up." And it's like the few times that well, I shouldn't say few anymore, but the times that heard things like that and am obedient, I'm like blown away. Like, what? Like, are you for real? Like, that's real? Holy shenanigans. And so that was one of those moments. And so if the Holy Spirit is pointing you in that direction, there's a reason. And so this is why I had felt led to pose that question to all of you in the audience, to look these things up and start to understand
What was
your
going on?
spiritual place in this world.
And see, when there's something that starts nagging at you and it comes out of nowhere and it starts just kind of like it's constantly picking at that thing in your brain. Like, the whole Egyptian hieroglyph thing is there, but I'm not quite sure what to do with it. Like I see it, I understand it, I know what it is. I'm just not sure what I'm supposed to do with it.
Right.
But then this Grand Canyon thing started picking at me. And so then I started trying to figure out what areas of the Grand Canyon hadn't been explored. And then I come across this dude on YouTube, which I find this to be, I don't know. Has anybody seen the videos from the Mr. Mountain Beast guy?
Oh, no, I don't think.
Okay, well, you see in our text message earlier, I said Mr. Beast question mark. You know that Mr. Beast that's all with the kids are all watching and whatever? I know it's cringe.
Guy.
I
Yeah,
just found this name because they pumped that up so much that even I, as a grandparent, know who Mr. Beast is because I know he's one of them. You know what I mean? But the kids
yes.
they see it on shorts and stuff. But then this dude pops up. Who here? I'm gonna put it on screen. Like, y'all, I ain't slept at night. This is like at me enough. Listen, at 10 o'clock, my phone goes into sleep mode. Shannon knows that. There's only a couple of people that can even make my phone ring after 10 p.m. That is a select few. With medical emergency, and you better call twice because you got to beat the emergency block on the phone. I'm sleeping. I'm 10 o'clock. I'm up 5:30, 6 o'clock every day. Last night, I didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning because I could not sleep because this was just like twitching at my brain. This dude right here, Mr. Beast, I saw this video when I went to digging on what hadn't been explored. Evidently, this is something new. And if anybody knows anything about verifying any of this, hey, Mr. Sidewinder, if any of this is real or I got the volume turned off. But supposedly this dude has gotten access somehow to the forbidden side of the Grand Canyon where the drones usually stop you from going.
Oh yeah, I've seen
And
these.
evidently these are not fake and he's not in a foreign land, but how? He spent a month in the Grand Canyon in places that nobody'd ever been, and he's out on YouTube and he's got 200,000 subscribers. Like other people go out to the Grand Canyon guys and they fly drones. You know, it said, look at that. Look. You're flying drones out there, and their drones, if they get into an area of the Grand Canyon that is off limits for you to see or film, electronic surveillance automatically takes control of your drone and sends it back to home base. The operator holding the controller, which is usually like a cell phone type screen, will get a warning, a violation warning, and let them know that drone is coming home. Like it ain't no joke in the Grand Canyon. You be hiking around in there and get out of an area you supposed to be in, and little dudes in military suits and guns come popping out. Like we just got soldiers posted up in the Grand Canyon. We got drones on patrol. Why? You telling us this, and we've all known this has been BS the whole time, that this is where the river washed through, and that's why there's a canyon. It might have washed through there, but somebody built that right there. Somebody built that. And it's awful Egyptian looking. And like and there's artwork inside of these caves. And it's just remarkable the things you're seeing. Of course, now we got a commercial.
Of course.
But like there's artwork on the ceiling of those caves showing details of the birth of Jesus. Let's see if I can find some. This was just the first video I clicked on. All right, see right here? Let's look at this part. I have the volume turned off so it won't kick us.
Every time I put in a comment, it never does what it's supposed to.
You got to select it.
Literally say, this is Shannon, just in case. Yeah. Select it. I don't have that option. And again, that's probably a button. If I tried to touch, it would not work for me. So
don't touch the button, Shannon.
Yeah. Oh,
I pulled up while we're kind of looking at what this guy's showing on the screen. I pulled up at the restaurant earlier. Shannon, me and my extra daughter was cutting up, and I pulled up at the window, and the lady come out, and I said, "Oh, shenanigans!"
I knew I heard my ears ringing. That's hilarious.
Yeah, this isn't one with artwork on it. But check him out, guys. I mean, I'm not trying to promote his channel by any means, but look at this. A lot of this stuff looks Roman. Tell me that don't look Roman to you.
Yep.
And I don't know if everybody knows it or not, but I'm on the East Coast. Shannon's on the West Coast if you're new to the show. I am coastal East Coast, Charleston, Myrtle Beach area. Right above me is North Carolina. In North Carolina, they were doing some work on a golf course because we got golf course all up and down the coast. The owners of this golf course were then having a meltdown because in the middle of this, when they start digging, they found a whole field full of Roman soldier armor and helmets. Roman soldier helmets and armor in coastal North Carolina. The Romans was way before Christopher Columbus, so the math ain't mathing.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're sitting here looking at the Grand Canyon with Roman columns and look over here to the left. See right here?
There is proof that the Greeks, the Romans, the Vikings, and even we're talking East Asians have been here when they say that's not possible before Christopher Columbus, who that's not even his name, by the way.
No.
I
Well, see, this is the thing. He's standing here.
Italian 13.
Well, see, I'm critical of anything I see because I don't know what of this is real, if this is somewhere else. We don't have any proof of where he's at. But if you look over here to the left, see right there, those tables? That looks like that's more recent. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something other hanging on that wall right there that's, I don't know if that's painted or what.
Additive.
But why are you taking the view from over here? See, I got questions. I always got questions. But you tell me that right there don't look like Roman. That's Romanesque right there. That's Roman architecture carved into the side of a wall. So was it already there and the Romans come along and tried to take it and make it their own? Were they trying to, habitat for humanity or something? That's Roman all day long. Lying sons of biscuit eaters. I'm telling you that. What you giggling about over there?
Just you and the things you say make me giggle.
Ain't it? Like they've lied about everything, guys. And now we got some dude called Mr. Mountain Beast of all things, and that beast stuck out to me for some reason. But he's granted some kind of 30 days of access to the backside of the Grand Canyon that nobody's ever seen before. 200,000 followers on YouTube, and none of those are being struck. He ain't been hauled off by the government for being somewhere he shouldn't want to be. Like, something just ain't, the math ain't mathing.
Well, here's something. This is a really good time to bring this up. The fact of the matter is, there is more AI generated videos from a lot longer than we are even truly aware of that have been put out there, that people are now realizing as they are going back in their research and going, that was AI. And so was that content creator. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be very vigilant and bring this up a lot to really vindicate what this is, if it is AI or if it is real, because the whole purpose that they've been throwing out so much misinformation, disinformation, fake stuff, AI ridiculousness in your face, showing you and giving you the tech to say, hey, look how easy it is for you to do this. They want us to question reality because we've had to now realize that the reality we had been shown wasn't real on so many fronts. And this is so difficult. It's like, I have a lot of experience with this. My whole marriage, I am married to the most skeptic person on the planet, which is awesome for me in a way. There's balance there. I am always up in the clouds. He's a very grounded person. But when trying to really discern something, it's like I have to put my mindset now so much into what my husband thinks that it's like it's really becoming hard to decipher. So this is where the Holy Spirit has to come in, and you really gotta to pray about, is this real And if so, or even if not so, why are they putting this in our face? If you see there's a lot of views, at least enough to get people to talk about it on more platforms. Why are they allowing us to see this? Why are they allowing the Epstein files out, which, by the way, no one seems to care about anymore? And more horrific things are happening to children in front of our faces, and there's nothing happening. So that compliance thing, that what's the word, Roxy? The conditioning. I remembered it. The
I don't have that
conditioning.
notepad out.
So if this is, what is this? Is this a conditioning thing, or is this really being allowed to be shown through the Holy Spirit saying, oh, hey, people, my watchman on the wall, here's some more? This is kind of how I am. I'm always constantly having to think now, thank God I've been married to a man who has taught me this, because I was not that guy for a long time, okay? I'm like, everything is spiritual, is real. It's all real. Didn't you see that? He's like, someone could have made that. Dang it. Why do you have to break my heart? Like, look. I mean, one of the biggest examples of this, you guys, oh my gosh, what is it, like back in 2006, 2007, something like that? I think National Geographic or the Discovery Channel or one of those channels came out with this whole documentary on how they found a dragon, like dragon remains, and had all these, computer reconstructions of what it was going to be like, or what it was like back when it was alive, and this whole thing. And then at the end, you find out it's not real. And I had already been on the phone with my dad going, oh my God, did you see this? Like freaking out, and was like, I knew it was real. I knew dragons were real, Dad. And then Andy's like, you didn't wait till the end. This isn't real. This is fake. Oh, I was crushed. I was so crushed. Okay. But this is how it is. And now all of these things that we're seeing, we have to have that thought in the back of our minds.
You got to pause. Like the thing you sent me earlier, you have to have part of your. You need to pause, and it doesn't matter whether it's with information that you receive in, if you're in an argument, if you have to make a decision, to not make an immediate judgment or reaction, to let it sit with you a minute so you can work the details out in your brain. And what was it? I know you sent me the video earlier. It told you in the Bible that having that kind of power before you reacted out of anger or sorrow or anything else was like having the power and strength to take over a whole city, is what it took to have the power to pause and think about a thought before you did it. That's really like a dragon there to me. Could be an antelope. I mean, I don't know.
A lot of weird things. It's just,
Well,
there are a lot of mysteries about the Grand Canyon. I mean, we are very aware that there's hidden things. I know they've built a base within it. What are they? What are they hiding in that base? What is the purpose of the base within the Grand Canyon? What all ancient?
Well, and see this.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, this is another one of those, side squirrels that my brain done on me. I've been interested in dams, like dammed up water. Like, what would America look like if we had no mechanical dams that humans had installed to interrupt the water level of the place we live? Right? Like, what's God's design? Where would the water naturally be? That's what America would look like, folks. There weren't no dams. That's what America would look like. Like half the places right here, I'll just be underwater if we didn't have physical dams. But then my question becomes, I understand they gave us the excuse of dams for hydroelectric power, blah, blah, blah. You changed the contour and the context of the piece of dry land that I live on so I wouldn't realize biblically what this piece of land is. That's what I believe. And that's what I'm bound and determined to. This squirrel's going to chase a nut because I'm going to prove it somehow. I don't know.
Wow, I am looking at a map right now, like where I'm at. Sorry, I had to compare. There, that is like the miracle of all miracles. My area just right there, like that area right there would literally be okay. I would still have land. I would still be alive. just just saying.
Well, I mean, and there's a lot that wouldn't. But you got to realize these dams weren't always here.
Yeah.
Okay, we had a great flood, and it's like anything else. There was a bunch of water that come in our aquarium, our snow globe. Water's got to find its level. That's where water's level is, right there. We as humans started slapping dams in here and dried up land and moved into it. And then we flooded other dry areas to into valleys to reroute the water. Well, when you dammed all this up, at some point, each one of these in small sections were dammed or changed, but you changed the actual climate and the biosphere of the area that we live in. Because anytime you alter water, plants need water, plants use water. They do things for our environment, they do things for us. But you took all of this right here and made it a big old spot of desert. There ain't nothing growing in there. Like,
Here's my question with looking at this, right?
here we
So
go.
we're aware because that whole area that was
Mm-hmm.
underwater, a big portion of it's the Louisiana Purchase. We've been given the stories of the Lewis and Clark expeditions, Sacagawea, the whole thing, and there was land there, right, to explore
Mm-hmm.
and wildlife, and so at what point were these dams actually created? When were the dams?
Oh, girl, I'm already on that question too.
I'll see who we got.
I was looking, and I think, see, I was already on dams over here. Um, they're trying to claim that these dams were, I think, 1910
Because
was the first big dam,
think about this,
which was Wyoming.
right? What is this? We get all this lore about mud floods. We get all of that, right? What if it wasn't exactly this
Mm-hmm.
mud flood, but it was, oh, all this dammed water is finally out of these spaces, right? And dried up and stuff's going on. So now they got to inhabit it. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. What if we've been told something? Again, I always think psyops, right? Because they were just, there's so much of this whole mud flood uh, talk out there, and it's like, yes, there's evidence of something like this, but this makes way more sense in the whole aspect.
Look, there's the first big dam right there. They're saying Buffalo Bill Dam.
Okay.
So if you take this, you put it right there. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, if we go down and look at the big, huge mechanical dams, we will watch these dams and how it would change all of that.
Because it's interesting,
They dried this land up to have more of it to sell.
right in this big too area in California and this whole area, um, there is ancient alcoves in like Santa Barbara and things along those lines where the land is shaped and formed in the most different way than I can't even talk, in a completely different way than most of the coastline. And they found all these ancient alcoves of things that are carved out, and found that a lot, ancient people had been there way before we had thought. And these things have been just recently that they're discovering that. And that's like right along the areas again that would have been flooded in that model without these dams. And I find that to be interesting too. It literally follows all around the area of the ancient stuff. And is that remnants again from the Great Flood?
I don't know what I gotta. All right, let's see where we're at there. That's directly below name. So this one would have been like right here.
Right.
All right. See, we already done. See, told y'all we was gonna be squirreling because we on a whole different subject where we started.
How it goes.
Vermont is. It claims that. I would be curious to know, to sit down, make a list of when mankind made dams to reroute all of this, because that and this ain't the same no more. Because you got mechanical dams like the Hoover Dam and places like that. And I don't know. Just go on YouTube. Just how are you putting all this stuff out here?
And I think placement of these are extremely important because I know a lot of you guys who go, down these truth trains have heard a lot about the Hoover Dam and how it could have been a Stargate, and that it's built on like the corners of these borderlines, right, of different states, and the whole way that the water generates electricity and all this stuff. There's a lot of weird occultic symbolism carved into the Hoover Dam, and there's a lot of talk of it being a Stargate. So it's interesting to think of where all these original dams were, and if they're all aligning in these kinds of places, where there is high activity on a spiritual level, and why maybe it was important to put these dams there. But it's very curious. I'm very curious because I mean, we know like a lot of the stuff in history, we weren't really told the truth about timelines. But literally pointing this out, Roxy, just 100% gives me confidence in saying this mud flood is something we need to really dissect in a much different way. We cannot trust the direction that it's been thrown out there. See, this is
and see, I completely agree. The Grand Canyon is massive, and you've seen, everybody has seen videos of these canyons and what they look like. Where's the dirt? Like, okay, I've seen dredging of the ocean to change the shape of the ocean floor. Like, the dirt went somewhere. It ain't magically delicious. It ain't Cocoa Puffs. It ain't Lucky Charms. It went somewhere. Okay? Like, ain't nothing magically delicious. Where'd the dirt go? The dirt went somewhere. Because if it was from, oh my goodness, I'm such a blessed lady. My grandbaby just brought me supper in here. Thank you, sweetheart. I love you. Whew, I got grits and sausage, y'all. I'm having dinner with y'all tonight. My daughter up there getting her cook on. Ain't nothing better than some grits in the South with some butter. You can smell the butter coming out of these grits. I taught that child how to cook grits. But where did the dirt go? Like, if even over time, if there was that much dirt being carried with a little bit of trickle of water down that big old hole, the dirt would have had to mound up somewhere and it's not there.
Right. Oh, by the way, Purge. I'm totally going to mess up your name, but the
Purge.
Purge person, Purge, whatever. You're awesome, by the way. I'm not trying to make fun of your name. I just can't read. That's my problem. But yeah, the Mud Fossil University, I'm a big fan. I just wanted to throw that out there if you guys
The
ever check it out.
purgation invitation. Are we pronouncing that right?
Purgation,
Purgation.
yeah. Purge. She just said it right. See, I can't read.
You
I'm
never know on here, like if we're pronouncing it. Tell us what it means, because now I'm intrigued by this username. I'm nosy. I'm nosy, boo boo. What does your name mean? Educate me. Educate me, baby. Educate me. That dirt went somewhere. And we know we
exactly.
got
And
whole cities that a whole level of a building has. How did dirt get there? You ever seen Old Brother Where Art Thou?
see, yeah, I love that movie.
They always flood the valley
But
when they make a dam.
right. And it's interesting
Mm-hmm.
though, thinking about it, because if you think about how water gets displaced, I mean the dirt, so the soil of things gets displaced in mass flooding, and then say you're retracting that, how does it all gather? To me, it makes more sense to me than all of a sudden there was just some random mud that just
Mm-hmm.
flooded in everywhere. From what? Where did this mud come from? How did this happen? Did it come from the sky? This isn't something that, I've heard of the meat rain, where it rained meat from the sky. I've heard of some really weird things, but there's no mention of how this mud just magically appears and in the way that it does. This makes way more sense. Way more
Well,
sense.
have you ever been to an area where they installed a dam? Like, you know what I mean? Like the town around it and what was flooded and that kind of thing.
Mm-mm. Me personally, no.
And I'm fixing to plug this for this whole town. Like, I ain't getting nothing off of this, y'all. But if y'all want to go see a beautiful place on the East Coast in the mountains, and this was 15 years ago, I went there, and I've driven by, but I haven't stayed there since then. This place left such an impression on me, this little town, that I long to go back there. This little town up where this dam is built, it looks like you're walking when you drive up the mountain to go to the little resort area they got up there. It's like you're driving into Dirty Dancing. Like, there's a community cabin out there where they have arts and crafts and line dancing, and there's a pond, and you know what I mean. It's nice,
Mhm.
but it's Fontana Dam in North Carolina. And if you love motorcycles like I love motorcycles, driving up that mountain is called the Tail of the Dragon. And there's lots of times during the year that you can go up there, and there'll be hundreds and hundreds of motorcycles going up this mountain. Now, when I went up, I was driving an Expedition when we went up to our cabin that time, and realized we forgot our bathroom bag with toothbrushes and toothpaste. To come down the mountain was 30 minutes. So just from the base of it to get up to the top where the dam is, around this, mountain, because you're circling it, 30 minutes. This is fun to, oh, y'all can't see. Gosh, I done unshared my screen. See, look at there.
I was like, yeah. So I
Yeah,
put my camera on. I
my
was
brain
like,
ain't braining. These grits has got my mind blowed over here to smelling good. But this is Fontana.
hey, we have a Fontana. I was just saying, we have a Fontana in
Mm-hmm.
California, in the IE, as a matter of fact. It's not very well
Well, if you know where
liked.
Cherokee, North Carolina is, this is west of it, and it's up in the mountains. And right here is Fontana Lake. That's where we stayed at. You could go in there and rent a boat. You can go down this Fontana Lake that they call it right here. You can rent a boat and go down it and go to all these different places. I wish it had some here. Like, somebody been on there. This is a campsite. Let's see if I can find any in person, street view,
Is there
anything.
anything that
We got on a boat.
indicates? Is there anything that indicates in any carvings or artwork or anything along those lines that there's some kind of occultic purpose for it? Like, like the Hoover
Well,
Dam. And,
this all goes back to the TVA, and Alabama sung a song about it. Tennessee Valley Authority. This is one of those situations where there were people that lived in that valley and they flooded that valley because they claimed it was in the interest of bringing power to the mountain, electrical, hydro power. When you get on the, and this was sad to me. Like when I went up on this dam, it's an awe-inspiring sight to be standing on top of one of those dams. My eyes were not open then, guys. I wasn't awake. Like I said, this was my adult child, who is 30, was probably fourth grade. So it's 20 years ago when I went up there. I'm sure it's changed. But standing on top of this dam up at the little visitor thing, you're looking down, you're seeing all of this. Well, the next day we went, you could go out to the lake and rent boats. So we rented a big pontoon boat because we had another couple with us. And the water is super clear. And as you're looking and you're seeing this valley, you're realizing how far above dry land that used to be there that had homes and stuff before they flooded this valley. You can see the tombstones sticking outside. Like they flooded graveyards. They didn't move people. There's still headstones. You can see it as you're driving by the lake. Like you can look down and see headstones. It's creepy. It's extremely creepy to me. And it's a beautiful place, don't get me wrong. The place we actually stayed is called Fontana Dam Village. I'm telling you, it it looks like something. See, there's the boats you can rent and go out on the lake. It's Yeah, it's still there's the general store. It still looks like it used to. I don't think I can upsize that anymore, guys. There we go. That's the general store. I mean, the whole little town up there looks like something right out of a book. I don't know. It's beautiful. But when you go up there and see all those headstones from graveyards sticking out sides of these walls, because this was a valley people lived in and up and held water in there and flooded it to make electricity. I understand. We're going to say I understand. Not that I agree that people needed electricity, blah, blah, blah. But if they hadn't been lying to us for the past 150, 200 years, that electricity is free and around you in the air and taking people like Nikola Tesla out, we wouldn't need dams. You wouldn't need electric companies.
Can we look at
It's all about the middleman.
Can we look at that flooded map again? Because something just kind of popped up in my head, the squirrel moment, right? If you think about it, with all these data centers that they're building and they're already taking away, electricity for people, and they're making it very obvious that they are not caring if people live or die in these places. And I've been sitting here thinking and wondering for so very long, knowing that there's the big one going to happen here in California any day. We've grown up knowing this. But why put in so much infrastructure in our area for smart cities and have like having a new tech rose area? Like it's building up to be a new Simi Valley. Well, when you look at this map, there are parts of Simi Valley that are safe. And then right there at the very tip of California, where the water meets the land, this is this whole area: Redlands, San Bernardino, Yucaipa, all of this, and the mountains, and all of that right there. It's safe. And then the desert area where they have a lot, the lithium mines that they're going to be building in the Salton Sea. Like, that's another thing. Why are they investing in these mines over here in the Salton Sea if they are so sure it's going to be destroyed? Right? They know it's not. They're already building the infrastructure in the places that they know are going to have land, because we have been told so many times throughout these last 20, 30 years that what happens if our dams are destroyed in wartime. You know what I'm saying? This has kind of been thrown out there, especially after the whole Twin Towers scenario and stuff. We're always wondering, are they going to attack the dams? There will probably be a point in time where these dams are going to be destroyed, and this whole scenery that we are seeing right now is going to have some relevance, especially knowing that there's the new Madrid earthquake action happening, which is all right in here. These are all in these areas of earthquake action that we've been feeling in places that don't normally have earthquakes, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
they're putting all these data centers there because they know they're already going to have water. It's going to have water. It's going to flood in there. They're building the infrastructure already to just be set. It's already going to be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is this map is important, guys. Take screenshots.
Well, look up there at top left where Canada is, that brown spot, the bigger light brown spot.
Mm-hmm.
All of that's on fire right now.
Good. Because why? They probably got to build more smart cities.
Mm-hmm.
Because where are they going to
All
put the
right.
people who are still around? Just saying.
Well,
Aside from
y'all,
the centers.
we
But
got all
this is
kind of
my
topics.
question. But like, you think about it in your area, guys, wherever you're at, are they planning? Are they actually building in infrastructure for long term for humans to live? Or are they building more infrastructure for just tech without the care of anything having to do with you? Or how is land being cleared, which we've had a lot of that already in a lot of various places, and the places being flooded and that should not have been, and things along those lines. So just think about it from where you are, wherever in the nation you stand on that map. First off, are you is there land there for you? Maybe you might want to think about hopping to a place that does. I don't know. Just take screenshots. That's all I can say.
Oh, sorry, I'm here. I'm looking at a couple of other different things. I was reading a comment. Wayne, the map doesn't make any sense to me. Coastal lying land is not covered with water, but 10,000 feet elevation are covered with water. That gets us back into the whole mud flood,
Mm-hmm.
water being rerouted, changes the actual topography of the land and the geography. And when you move that water, you change it or stop it, or you're affecting the wildlife in that area. You're affecting the flora and fauna in that area, the biosphere, the ecosystem, everything. When you come in and where I'm at, we're being overrun with stupid suburbs. I'm a country girl, y'all. I think everybody ought to at least have. I think everybody in the world ought to have their own 10 acres. Like I just do, and I know it's not possible, but everybody should. Hang on, I gotta kick the bot. spot.
I was going to say, there it is.
I got it. I got it, girl. I'm
thinking.
firing on all cylinders. I'm still eating grits and sausage over here. But all these suburbs coming in around us, like where my mom lives, she's lived there 20 years. She loves it. She has a piece of land that she rents in a little community, a little mobile home community. She's been there 20 years. Like she's the oldest resident, as far as time of length there. Right beside her, all of the trees were cut down on 20 acres to bring in 300 cookie cutter D.R. Horton homes. Across the road, they're trying to get rezoning for 300 more. Another spot a half mile up, 300 more. This is backing up to the river, the Walkamaw River. And anytime you take flora and fauna and trees out of the ground, they absorb water. They use water for life. This is what we talk about with the giant trees that were cut down in the whole thing of Noah. Those giant trees stop consuming water, the uptake and use of it. And think about that for like 100 acres of soggy land around a river that trees drunk from. And all of a sudden there's nothing there to consume that water. So it's going to turn into bog for a while. And this has happened all over this country. We just happen to be one of the popular spots right now. But I promise you, they ain't build these dams and take all this wetland, turn it into dry land, make a buck off of it. Because they're all a bunch of greedy monsters anyway.
I just know that when they are spending billions of dollars on infrastructure, they are not thinking of this present moment. They are in the future. And we know that these people know, or these beings know what's about to happen. There, a lot of it has they planned themselves. So when you are seeing mass growth, mass amounts of things being put in infrastructure wise in your area, you know they plan on having that area in the future, and there will be more mass migration in those places when things are said and done. But if you notice again, a lot of those areas that were covered in water seem to be inundated right now with the buildings of data centers. And it's all again this water, 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 water. And no one cares about these people. People are protesting. People are doing as much as they can to try to stop these data centers, but they're not going to. And they know that they don't need to. It's going to be immersed in water. It's already taken care of, but there's not going to be people there because there's not going to be land.
Mm-hmm. This thing ain't even listening to me, or maybe I'm not typing because I'm chewing.
So maybe
I saw a lady. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, if it's possible to move, maybe now is a good time. I don't know. I know that's up to you and the Most High. I apparently
Girl,
stuck where I am. Oh, but yeah.
Well, since you got on AI data centers, here we go. New squirrel. If anybody would like to know one of the people on the forefront of mapping, talking about it, and taking any legal action that can be taken, Erin Brockovich is.
Amen.
The same one from the Julia Roberts movie. She has started the Brockovich AI data center reporting. She has a whole team. If you know in your area and you've got a link to where the zoning and the proposals are going for data centers, report it to them. They verify it and they're mapping it. And I think I saw her on a show, it might have been the Sean Ryan show. I saw a short of it. And the day that she taped that show, they had 9,000 spots in the U.S. that they had confirmed data centers are supposed to be going. That's a lot of data centers. 8,106.
I just know it, Roxy. You put the map of where those are going to be. There may be a few outside of that map, but I almost just could just tell for 100% certainty they're all going to be in the areas where
There you go.
it's very, very close. Very close. Jeez. See, what in the world? You guys are inundated
All right.
so much more
All right.
on that.
Here you go. These are operational. These are the ones that are currently operating. Full on operating. Operational. Let me move this over. These are operational. That is under construction. These are the proposed sites. Come on. There we go. Those are the community has reported activity that looks like they're trying to put it in.
What you see how much more is on your end than mine?
Mm-hmm. All right, now let's
What?
look at our other. I know that's what you want to do. You want to look at the other map. So give me a minute.
No, no,
I'm getting there, Susie Q.
I didn't say I was inundated with looking at the current map in my face, so it's all good. It's all good.
Let's see. All right, there's our data centers. It's gonna take it a minute. The air quality. Let's go back and look at this.
And again, this is all stuff that we know are already there. This is ancient tech, so
That map looks very similar, don't it? Dry land.
I mean, there
Look
are
at that.
definitely more data centers on dry land, but maybe those are not quite the ones that are going. I know there are some differences in how much water and like depending on the power of it, and they're of course putting a lot of these things in people's homes now. But my question is why so little on the other half in comparison? And again, we've speculated a lot of these again are ancient tech. A lot of it's already there. It's already been in place, but they're
Mm.
activating things, re-upping things, building more infrastructure around it, updating things.
Well, sorry. Last bite of grits, guys. You gotta eat grits while they're hot. Okay. Look at where we got drought conditions at. That's a drought map over on the left. We're in a drought right here, right now. Don't get me started on the drought and the atrazine and the Adam's apple conversation I had earlier this morning. Oh, that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Manufactured weather. It has to do with atrazine. Manufactured hurricanes. We got to come back to that. Got to come back to that.
Wait. What? China has less than 500 data centers, but we already have more running and 10 times more planned by imminent demand, if you ask me. Wink, wink, nod, nod, the weather.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that China, considering, right, we've been at this like technology war with them. A lot of the tech we get is made there. And of course, we have this whole battle with Taiwan because that's the only magical place that these chips are manufactured. It just really that's interesting to me that they do not have nearly as much than we do, and that there's something to that. Anybody got thoughts? Feel free to comment.
Memory has water. Water has memory. Water has structure. It can be restructured. That's why you need to put it in a copper vessel. So if you wanted to control what the metabolics of that water was, you would build something. Hang on. Right there. That would restructure the water that your population is drinking. Just saying, because they're talking about the water they're going to use to cool this equipment, that they're going to put it back into the system for use. That it's not just going to evaporate. That they're going to like use it, cycle it, and then put it back into the water treatment system. Well, if you brought it in and it was around electronic frequency, you have thereby restructured the water by whatever means you wanted to, because they're not ignorant of frequency. We know they know all of this. We're just behind on catching up on what these fools do know. See, we are finally catching them with their hand in the cookie jar.
Oh wow, Roxy. I think a piece of the puzzle just landed in my brain. And you look at that area where there's a lot less, and you think of what is in that area. And we're looking at Yellowstone,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a lot of activity there. There's a lot to go on in that space, and I'm just curious. Curious.
I think this water restructuring has a lot to do with it. And one of the reasons I think is because um, a lot of the people, guys, that Shannon and I communicate with, we have a team. There's a whole crowd of us. We follow each other's show. We depend on each other's information. There's Daniel. He's one of them. He's one of the leaders of this band of merry nut jobs.
Woo!
But
Love you, Daniel.
we love us some Daniel. He's our mentor. But we all kind of see the same things. We understand frequency. Every atom in your body on a molecular level vibrates at a frequency. When two atoms vibrate against each other, reactions happen. Everything is made up of this. So everything has a frequency. Whether your eyes can perceive it or not, every speck of matter is vibrating at a frequency. So if they know that, and water holds memory, and they can program water, we've seen this. We can do the thing where you put the water on top of a quarter in a petri dish, and then set the petri dish in the freezer, and when it freezes, it will freeze the image of the image you showed it. I'm not saying leave the quarter in the water. I'm saying take a petri dish, put an eighth of an inch of water in it, or a glass dish, a glass, whatever. Lay a quarter on the counter, sit that glass of water on top of it, bowl, glass, whatever you're using, and let it sit on top of that actual quarter. Stick it in the freezer and pull it back out, and whatever image, the eagle or whatever, the water will freeze to replicate that image. You didn't speak to it. It just, the water saw it. It can see, it can feel, it can feel the depth of the vibration of that quarter, the raised edges on it, like a blind man, and it will freeze to mimic and recreate that. And we're giving these idiots access to all the water in the world to run it through all them little red dots and reprogram it and hand it back to us in city water. We already know they're dropping chemicals in it. Sorry.
It's okay.
I got the whole water thing
Yeah.
bothers me. Like I see this whole data center as a water manipulation trick.
Well, that is definitely a big part of it. You know.
Well, see, has anybody ever seen the movie? What is it? Too Big to Fail. Christian Bale's in it.
Mm-mm.
Uh, it's about the mortgage crisis back in '08 when the economy flopped. He's the one that predicted it coming. He plays the guy who predicted it coming. Hang on. There's something he says at the end of that movie, and I don't know why. I do not know why. But something has always made me something. I don't know. And this was 20. I think this was. Should I just pass it? Is that it? The Big Short?
Sorry,
Big Short.
swirling on what would happen when the Yellowstone supervolcano erupts.
I don't think that's it there. It's a movie. He's a almost on the verge, I think, of like autistic. He's an investor or something, but he predicted that mortgage. This is like an afterwards, it's kind of a documentary kind of thing, and it tells you on there that he was the one that saw the collapse of the mortgage market coming, and he made a bunch of money off of it. Well, after all of that's over, it tells you at the end of the movie, it's like, well, and it tells you the real life guy, and it says something else, and it says now he invests all of his investment efforts in water rights. I didn't even know what water rights were then fully. You know what I mean? Like I've heard it before, but I didn't know what all was entailed. And shortly thereafter, I went to an auction for a home that we were looking to purchase on like a foreclosure auction. And one of the big things that come up, and we didn't know this ahead of time, so we ended up passing on the house because we didn't fully understand. Somebody had already signed off all of the mineral rights for this property.
Hmm.
So you telling me I can buy this house and piece of land, but two owners before had already given the mineral rights for drilling. Now we talking about a piece of land in the country over here. Why mineral rights had already been given up, I don't know, but I do know there was a cocaine mine close by. But I didn't fully understand it, so we backed out because I wasn't cool with that. But this dude who is like super brain, financial, predicting economies and downfalls, and that was what he was into. It was like predicting the next failure to make a gajillion. And he was buying nothing but water rights. Water is everything. We can't live without water. We can't drink salt water. You have to have fresh water. So if they control the freshwater access, they own the bank. They got the keys to the kingdom. They got the keys to the kingdom, guys, because we all on city water. I'm not. I'm on deep well. I'm blessed. So thankful. But 70% of the people in the world now just go get city water. Every drop of city water you drink has been through a processing center that could have been altered chemically or by frequency. Because you can do just as much damage with frequency as you can with poison.
Well,
You can take frequency and turn it against the human body. That's how they bust kidney stones. If anybody don't know that, that's what kidney stone surgery is. They blast your kidney with frequency, and the stone shatters, and your body passes it without having to do invasive surgery.
well, right, like in line with what you're saying. Think about the explosive parasite we have going on right now, right? Which has
Hmm.
to do with water, with probably
Okay.
fecal matter, right? This is
Yeah.
a poo thing. you know?
They are spraying the lettuce that's giving everybody this parasite that can only continue to replicate or live within a human host. You can It could be on a plate on a leaf of lettuce, but it can only last so long before it dies. So that parasite would have had to get in there from either the fertilizer, which would be human feces, or gray water, which is processed through human waste and sprayed on crops as fertilizer. I don't
Right.
know. Anybody else cool with their lettuce having a turd on
But
top?
think about
I
this
mean,
though.
like,
It's not just the produce, okay? Like, I don't know if you're familiar with your local water department and how everything works in your area, but I know for a fact in ours that we use a certain percentage of treated sewage water.
mm-hmm.
Most places do that. There was an incident like a month or so ago, where they apparently didn't sanitize it correctly and had to put a notice out to everybody and whatnot.
Well, and as an FYI, I know it's hot and it's summertime, and everybody is all about going up in the water and whoop whoop, let's go get a float and go get a tan and get in the water. It's hot. If it ain't fresh water, running water, don't go get in it. Don't go get in a swimming pool. Chlorine will not kill this parasite. You can go get in a public swimming pool. And if somebody has had this stomach bug and they ain't wiped their booty good and they get up in the swimming pool where you at and some of that booty stank be all up in the water, you could get it. Just saying. And like I had it. I've already had it. I had it last week. They ain't nothing like that stomach virus. Like, I didn't have to go to the doctor, the ER, because, like, I got Shannon. I called Shannon. I'm like, Shannon, girl, I'm sick. Something wrong. She's like, I think you got it. Girl, I got it. I had it 3 days. Unfortunately, I did not lose any weight with it, but, it is what it is. I didn't lose my life either. So we're grateful for that. See, no weight loss, no life loss. Just, a solid day in the bathroom. It was bad. And it's like I don't know how to explain it without being graphic. It is very, very acidic. It will put blisters on your skin. You will know if you have it. It is almost uncontrollable. It is violent, and you almost need medical care for the acidic burn you get. It's bad. This is coming from them using human doo doo water to spray the lettuce with that they're making salads and the chopped up salad at the Taco Bell. Like, we all knew Taco Bell what it would do to you the next day. Is this what's been doing it to us at Taco Bell all this time, or is it just the food's that crappy? Probably a little bit of
The
both.
above, I'm sure.
All of the
I can't
above.
touch that stuff.
Take your ivermectin, folks, and your fenbendazole.
Well, and then again, too, this is a protozoa type. It requires something different. Look into the natural stuff as much as you can. Um, the thing is, too, is praying over everything right now is so vital. It just really is, because you know what? Our Father in heaven can literally take away anything, and we need to put our faith in him, because it's, you have to eat, you have to drink water, you got to bathe every now and then. There, it's really hard to get away from
Turn that temperature down in that shower. Turn that temperature down in that shower. Your body makes its own natural oils. Your body is an efficient machine. It is the most well tuned hot rod you will ever get to drive. It knows what it's doing, it knows what it needs. Sometimes it's going to need a little extra because we're not getting the nutrients from good food. We're getting poison. It don't matter whether it's the vegetable or the meat, it's poison. Don't matter if it's the box cereal or the Pop Tart or the Oreo or the chicken tenders, there's poison in it. It just is. The air, the food, the water, the we send our kids to school, they got them drinking it there, one form or another, and it don't stop. And this is where I come with the atrazine thing. This is the one, guys. If you take atrazine and put it in water, and you take 400 male bullfrogs, right at 70% of them within 3 days will be females with ovaries who are pregnant. These are super bullfrogs. This is what this chemical does. Okay, men and women, Adam's apple. I'm sorry, I'm on a tangent, y'all, but this is something I've been looking into. The whole Adam's apple and the inverts that girls are boys, boys are girls. Sandra Bullock, that kind of thing. Women and men have an Adam's apple. Testosterone in the male part of our species causes the male species to have a thickened and enlarged plate in front of their Adam's apple. So what you see in a man's neck, it is in a woman's neck, but the piece that sticks out is a shield that our heavenly Father built in the male species to protect his voice, his
Mhm.
frequency. The more atropine you put in the food, in the crops, the less testosterone our baby boys are having. The majority of other countries on this earth have banned this substance from being anywhere in their country because their medical records show that using it drops testosterone so significantly that within 2 generations their boys didn't even have a guard on their Adam's apple anymore because they were so feminized. Gee whiz, aren't we having that problem with the new generation of men in this country? That they all seem feminized and they're just not men anymore. And half of them, you can't tell if they're a man or a woman. Kind of like old Epstein and his friends was up to. It's in everything, folks. Atrazine, look for it. Find that chemical. If you got it, don't let your kids eat it. Sorry, phone was going off. I can't see if Shannon's muted or not because I still had the screen up. She muted. But the atrazine, and this is where I get from the atrazine is taking the testosterone out of our boys to manufactured hurricanes. Like this actually connects. Okay, y'all know I dated a farmer for a while. And he explained to me what this chemical is used and how I went down the whole GMO, you know, round and up products and, that Mon and Sand and, they got Toes company that makes seed and chemicals. So, farmer goes and buys a seed, which is genetically modified and it's almost trackable by DNA. Well, it is trackable by DNA to see if that farmer has harvested the seeds that he bought. If he bought 10 pounds, it should have made into, we'll just say 10,000 pounds of whatever the crop was. If he comes up with 12,000 pounds at the scale house where he takes the crop to be stored and sold, they're like, oh, where'd you get that extra to? Did you have extra seeds? Did you save seeds from last year? Because the seeds are not reusable. Even if you grew that soybeans, you cannot save your own soybeans to replant the next year. You have to buy new seeds. That seed is engineered so weeds will not attack it. But in order for that to happen, you plant the seed, then you got to come back, and it's called Roundup Ready. When it's grown, they will come through that field and drown it with Roundup. Okay, now we got the crop for the wheat growing, it's going, we're on the East Coast. And about the time that it's supposed to be harvested is hurricane season. Well, if you want to sell a bunch of atrazine or make sure that it got sprayed on the crops, if it's not quite ready to harvest, but a bad storm or weather is coming, the farmers will run out there with their sprayers, spray that grain with atrazine. It will bloom. They can harvest real quick and get it out the field before the hurricane destroys it. So you tell me what kind of it would do to the grain market if you engineered a hurricane to come in and wipe out the crops. She's muted. She got froze on me. I don't know if she's there or not. But I don't see any way around it that the same people making the seed don't have some level of interest in engineering severe weather events. Because by engineering severe weather events, you can thereby control the price of a crop of oranges or tobacco or grain or tomatoes or wherever you're at. If you go up there, spray them trails in the sky, change the weather, make it dry, make it too wet, bunch of thunderstorms, hailstorm, whatever, because they know how to do it. So if you want the price on oranges to go up due to scarcity, you would send horrible weather through the state of Florida, through the southeast. I mean, just think about it. They can manipulate the stock market by starting a hurricane. Like, they ain't nothing these sick, twisted, maniacal, evil, satanic, baby eating pedos would do. Like, I got all kind of other words we can use. What y'all talking about? Shannon dropped out. I'll get off my soapbox for a minute. Shannon dropped out. What we got going on in the comments? Hey, everybody. I seen a bunch of you come in. Diana, Trish. Can't watch you going off about, sweetheart. Hang on. I got to catch up and read. If we really knew stuff they were doing to the food, we wouldn't consume anything. Absolutely. If you really think about it, listen, I've got down to where I am extremely selective about the name brands I'll eat, the actual things that I will eat. I'm kind of down to like some bare minimum foods here. And of course, I tried to go and get all healthy and had me a couple of salads the other weekend. And then I got this good old protozoa thing that's going on, and it weren't fun. If they feminize the male species, then they succeeded in bringing man down to their level. Seems like our world is a monopoly on crack. It is a monopoly on crack. And our government has been the blooming crack dealer. Like, they turned one of them 3 letter agencies that has intelligence in it into the local crack dealer, and they putting the crack in the water supply. Like, people just ain't getting it. I mean, there's a show on what's it on? This is my new series, guys, on Apple TV. It's called Silo. And I think it's got 3 seasons. I'm in season 2. I'm not going to tell you what happens in it because I have just started figuring it out in season 2, which I thoroughly enjoyed because I watched season 1 and I didn't see some of the stuff coming in season 2. I like a show like that because most time I figure that whole series in 30 minutes because my brain won't stop. The water, the Men in Black blinky light, like it all comes. It's water. Water. It is an absolute necessity for us to live. We have to have it. You can go days and days without food, but you got to have water. Water nourishes our body. It renews our body. It is the living water. If you want to cleanse yourself of the sins of the world, you go down to the water. Come on down to the water. That's where the living water is at. And I think this weekend I've had a couple of conversations with some of these females because my weekend was spent with a lot of girls who my daughter grew up with, and they call me mom. There's oodles of them. I have been so blessed that my daughter has had great friends her whole life and a couple of cousins, and they all call me mom. And there's another mom, they all call her mom. We call ourselves sister moms because when these girls were in high school, that was the only way we could keep these two little hoodlums out of juvie. Because if us moms weren't talking, they was trying to pull the wool up over our eyes, and they still did. Don't get me wrong. Them two little heifers tell the truth now about what they done, and we strung them up back then if we'd known. But we all do it. I did it. Everybody does it. Everybody learns from being a teenager. But what would Jesus do? This is a new train of thought that I have really tried to bring myself to it and try to remember it, that it's that question that I ask in the back of my mind when, something's going on. Yeah, baptism. Super Dave. Hey, Super Dave, I saw you come in a while ago. But what would Jesus do? And this takes us right back to where we started with part of this conversation about being able to pause, to think about your reaction and your action. Like, what would Jesus do? How would he handle this? And because we're in the Truman Show, guys, and we're starting to see the cracks in the screen, and we're all observing what's going on. The food ain't safe, the water ain't safe, the air ain't safe. Like, yeah, they've the government is the crack dealer. They've put crack in the water, essentially. Uh, Wayne, are you there? Can we hear you? Can't hear you. You're frozen. Cut your camera off and see if that helps. It might be a bandwidth thing. Everybody's home in the afternoon at homes. Wayne says he's lost 12 pounds since January because food worries him so much now. Read the ingredients, put them back on the shelf. Well, our human body is actually, we're not supposed to eat 3 times a day. Like, we're not. We're not supposed to eat 3 times a day. That is a constructive narrative by the people that sell you the food. We're not supposed to eat breakfast time your feet hit the floor. You don't need a blooming bowl of Lucky Charms. Like, that ain't the way the world was supposed to work. The longer you fast, it tells you in the Bible. One of the main scriptures we have found that they have tried to exclude from the Bible is where we are told how to heal ourselves. Fast and pray. Thank you, Leslie. Fast and pray. He tells everybody in that book, go everybody, they go to the desert, they go to the wilderness 40 days. They fast and they pray, and the only thing they take with them is manna. When your body, that gnawing feeling that you feel in your stomach, that's not hunger. That is not hunger. We are taught as a small child, as a toddler, oh, I hear your tummy growling. Are you hungry? Think about how many times you told your child that. That does not mean that child is hungry, and I didn't know that. Now, I'm a know-it-all. I like to know a lot of things, a lot of things. I'm okay with being called a know-it-all. It just means I like to read. That's the way I look at it. It can't hurt my feelings. But, all right, Shannon, hang on. You're in now, my lovely.
I keep freezing. Can you? Oh my gosh.
Just cut your video off. I can hear you.
You
But
can.
yeah, I can hear you, but your video's freezing. Just cut your camera off. Maybe it'll save some of the bandwidth.
I'm trying.
And it might not be you. We've got like 20 windows open over here behind the studio. I'll cut some of that off. It might help. But we tell our children when they're little, oh, I heard your tummy growling, you're hungry. No, that is your body's natural noise it makes when it is digesting food. Your intestines not only digest the food that you eat, it also needs to be able to absorb and disperse the things that are inside of you, the toxins, the poisons that need to go out of your system. But if it's constantly having to process your food, it can't process the other stuff. This is the reason in a fast. Because when your stomach makes that growling noise, it's just digesting, it's pushing it on through the system. Like that's the hot rod cranking up. It's headed for the finish line. It's doing its business. That's what that is. That's movement. That's the exhaust on the car. And you know what happens when it gets to the end. A pow. Anyway, once it has partially digested that and moved it on, if your intestinal system, which are extremely long, are empty, they will then start absorbing the toxic and other things from the body that was byproducts that were wasted in the blood or that the body didn't want or use. And your intestines will actually absorb that. But if they're always full of food, you don't have that option. It doesn't have the chance. That is the reasoning for a fast. I don't know, Shannon. You jammed up again, boo boo. I don't know what's going on with you over there. Let me see if there's anything else I can cut off that'll
Can
help.
can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Have you got a Verizon phone, ma'am?
Yeah. Um, you, I wasn't gonna bring this up like at all, but apparently, I can't avoid it. I am asking for prayers right now. I'm being attacked pretty hard lately, and it's a lot of it is very much so frequency driven, and it has been affecting a lot technical and body wise. So if you could just say some prayers for us, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
We do need them. We need them because we have, yeah, we had a night this week that several in our group seemed to simultaneously. That was strange. Like out of nowhere, everybody's like, "Oh, I don't feel good. I think I'm gonna lay down and go to bed." Because you guys see us on here for an hour or two together. For anybody to just know, subscribe and like. There's like 20 of you in the room. Subscribe and like. It matters. Please, on our channel. The Roxy Files, Children of the Most High, Logic Before Authority, The Supernatural Show, Super Day 44, Clayton Vicarious, um, uh, Lisa's channel just escaped my brain. What's the name of Lisa's channel, Shannon?
Waking God.
Waking God's Child. I don't. My brain was saying walking. I was seeing, but Waking God's Child. These are some of our people. But the Roxy Files, Children of the Most High. Subscribe, like the video, do us a favor, leave a comment, do something. We don't make jack off of this. We over here talking for free and hoping you enjoy it. But all of a sudden, I don't even remember what night it was. It was one night last week,
Thursday.
Thursday, when the speech was on. Yeah, this is one of the reasons we didn't do the show. Like we had 3 people that had not spoken about it. And within a couple of minutes, we're all texting each other like something's wrong. Like I feel all balanced. I'm nauseated. I'm having hot flashes. We felt like we were being microwaved.
Do you have that video? I normally would not want to share this, but I mean, I need to show you guys proof. Okay. And literally moments before, I had already sent Roxy a video of how I was already feeling, but my face was not like that. If
I
you
don't know if I do or not. And it's on my phone. I can't get it over to the
I might
studio that way.
have
She looked sunburnt. Like her skin on her face was so flushed from heat that she looked like she was sunburnt. And I was laying on my side with one leg off the bed like I'd pulled the worst drunk of my life and was trying to keep the room from spinning. That's the position I was on, and I ain't had no drink. And I just felt like my intestines were ready to just hurl. It was horrible. I know mine lasted. I finally fell asleep and Shannon did too, and our other friend Rye. It was, yeah, that was all at the same time at one night. Three people in three different physical locations, all reporting the same. Feel like you were being cooked from the inside out sensation. It was rough.
Man, how do I do this? I can't. You know what? I'll just put it up on a short. I'm not really thrilled about it, but I literally was in so much pain, you guys. It was all my nerves were literally on fire. I deal with neuropathy on a daily basis as it is. So when my entire spine, all of my extremities, my face, I literally felt like I was being microwaved. My face was like a crab shell and everything hurt so bad. And this is not normal. I have neuropathy in specific areas. I do not have fibromyalgia. This is not normal. And I just, for all of you guys who maybe doubt that, targeted individuals is a real thing, not only are there real websites where they hire people to do this, but there there are those of us who have literal proof of not being normal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's just prayers for all of us who are out here sticking out our necks for the kingdom of Jesus. That's, so many of us,
I would
all of
like.
you guys,
I
talking
would
out
like.
to people you see every day. You are watchmen on the wall, and you may not be on camera here, but you are working for the kingdom of Jesus Christ, and we all have to pray for our brethren.
We do, and there's a lot going on in the world right now, and we are at a. I believe, my personal belief. I'm saying this. Roxy's saying this. I think we are at a critical, pivotal, spiritual time in history, like all history from the beginning. Hello from Vermont. We are at, if you haven't read the book of Enoch, I beseech you to please go read Enoch. Take it in spells, listen to it, take it in. That's the one thing they hid from you in the Bible was the book of Enoch. Because once you realize it, you will understand the supernatural realm in which we live in. We've been lied to, we've been conned. As long as they didn't tell us and let us know that all these supernatural things were from our Father in heaven, they wanted us to believe that the only thing that was magic was some trick that they come up with, that there was a science explanation for everything. No, our Father in heaven is much, much bigger than that. And so is his son.
I can't, Roxy. I have to share this with you right now. Okay, so I thought this whole time I have been messaging you, but it turns out I've been messaging my husband, which is kind of funny because his explanation of some stuff was helpful. But I just sent you what I had sent him thinking I sent it to you. So this whole time, I mean, I can see the background photo and I'm still not getting it that I'm sending these messages to Andy. I just thought that was funny. And thought I was having a conversation with you. But yeah.
That might have been why I wasn't responding there, Governor.
Yeah.
you, were, you were talking to the husband.
Yeah. He's such a smart guy, though. Just,
He is. We love our husband, Andy. He's become partially my husband because he has to listen to me and Shannon on the phone 3 to 4 hours a day. Like Shannon and I, we went what, like maybe 36 hours without talking to each other. We almost had conniptions. Like I was looking for one of us to break out in seizures and twitches because we'd gone like 2 days without a conversation on the phone.
right. Well, and part of this conversation, he literally says to me something about Wait, it could have something to do with that squirrel's nest of cables you got going on in there. And I'm sitting there because it's squirrels. I
Yeah.
kept thinking it was you. Wow. I'm sorry. I just, not that anyone cares, but it was squirrel.
Shannon and I are metaphorically attached at the hip. Where you see one, hey Tina, where you see one, you see the other one. Ian Franco Design, welcome. We haven't seen you in here before. You might have been, but we hadn't seen you. We're kind of to the part of the show. If you're just joining us, we're kind of closing up. Well, not closing up. We're just sitting here running our mouth. We're not trying to get too deep because sometimes you get deep, you get angry. And I don't want to be angry. That's a brain trick. Anytime you feel yourself having an emotion that's not a positive one, verbalize it and give it a name. And once you give it a name, your prefrontal cortex will kick in and it will help you adjust the emotion and take a pause. So if I feel angry, I acknowledge I feel angry and I adjust it from that point. See, now I'm getting an echo.
It might be
Hmm.
because
Kent, do you have fibromyalgia by chance? Because I have figured out that fibromyalgia is connected to collagen, which is also connected to people that are double jointed, which is connected to people that are Rh negative. Rh negative people have a different collagen level on blood works. Most of them have hypermobility in their joints. Most of them, and your joints and your hypermobility and the collagen relates to the fascia in your body. Your fascia is where fibromyalgia pain comes from. Fibromyalgia is a bucket that they throw it in when they're not quite sure what it is and they're not smart enough to figure it out. Friends of our friend. Welcome, friend. You see that, Shannon?
I can't see. I'm struggling. I touched a button. There we go. What am I looking for?
Our
Friend.
new visitor tonight is a friend of a friend. What's
Hey,
up?
what's up?
Oh, is that Miss? That's Miss Vivian. Hey, Miss Vivian. I didn't see the other message up there. But and like be careful with blood work. And this is a we're kind of closing up on random stuff. I thought this is very unique. The other day I had cancer. If anybody watching it know, I had cancer. I go to the doctor every 90 days to have a full metabolic and CBC rundown on blood work. We watch my numbers every 90 days. I've been going to the same doctor since this was 2009, immediately after the economy crashed and I was at the top of my game in the car dealership. Um, I got cancer. So every 90 days since that point in 2009 or 10, we've done blood work. And I looked, I know that your emotions take a toll on your body. We know that when you go into fight or flight mode, it causes cortisol and adrenaline and all those things to happen. But and Judah, hey, um, when your body is in that kind of mode, your chemicals change in your body because your body's trying to compensate for survival mode, fight or flight. I realized that when I went back and looked historically at my numbers the other day, that at the end of my marriage, my 27-year marriage, and it wasn't a bad ending. We just been together 27 years. We grew apart. We're still friends now, or somewhat. You know what I mean? We're whatever. We wave at each other. We're not angry. We'll leave it there. But up until the point you could see that my blood work wasn't quite right. When I got out of that marriage and I was out of fight or flight mode, my blood work improves and it goes up and up and up and up and up. And then all of a sudden, I got in another relationship and it just kind of got there. And then after a little while, you see the blood work start tailing back off like something ain't quite right. I have been out of said relationship and on my own for 6+ months now. We've done 2 blood works. Both of them are headed back in the right direction. So if you for one moment don't think that the emotional weight and toll that you are carrying for others doesn't cause a toll on your body, think about it and be very careful what kind of emotional weight you're willing to carry for somebody else's problems. I understand helping them. But when you got somebody who won't correct their own behavior and it causes hell in your life, you got to cut them loose because it's not doing anything but physically making you sick. And that's the reason I left my first marriage. I had been to the doctor for months and nobody could figure out why my blood work was off, why I was feeling this way. I was bed rotting, is what I was doing. I was on a lot of pharmaceuticals that, some of they had me on Effexor for hot flashes, which is a schizophrenic drug. But anyway, we don't take none of that mess no more. But your emotional toll will take a toll on you at a cellular level. This is the reason y'all hear me harp on gratitude. When you're anxious, you're upset, be grateful. Your body cannot go into that psychological loop if you are grateful, if you're thankful. Just catch yourself. Don't let triggers set you off. Use it as a glimmer. And trust me, I've been through a lot of crap. I've had a husband of 27 years and I had a 6-year relationship. There are things that will trigger memories, smells, sights, locations, childhood. Like I can smell racing fuel to this day, and the hair on my arm stands up, and I get excited. Like, woo! I want to go outside and watch. I love racing fuel. There's something about it. I guess it's what I grew up around. Now, diesel fuel has another emotion for me. My daddy was a mechanic. Anyway, learn to take triggers and turn them into glimmers. Because anytime you go into that flight or fight mode, turn yourself into gratitude mode. I will never get married again either, Wayne Payne. I don't, not in a courthouse. If I was to ever meet someone that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, and we wanted to make a verbal commitment to each other before our Father in heaven, yes. Am I going to the courthouse? No, because all y'all trying to do is put me in a tax bracket. No, thank you. See, I'm to the point in life I don't even think I'll ever live with another man again. He would have to be awful special because as a woman we end up carrying this load for others in our life. It's part of our ingrained normal natural part of most women, not all, but most women are nurturers. That's why we are mothers. We were given that God-given right to bring life into this world because of the soul and the spirit he put within us to take care of each other. But when you take on a partner or a spouse, you then end up, and women, because not all women, like I said, and not all men. This is not every situation. I'm not putting a blanket on this. Personal experiences have shown that in a lot of relationships, when you get together with someone, you end up being their secretary, their appointment maker, their cook, you're doing the laundry, you're their emotional support animal, you're their therapist, you're trying to keep their life on track and your life on track and kids' life on track. Like if most people went through the morning of a mother with 2 children that's single or, doing it on her own between the ages of 3 and 13, if she had 2 of those, it would blow most people's mind to know what that poor woman has to plan and go through in the morning. They couldn't do it. Most people who are not mothers fall apart. But no, not interested in getting married again. Don't even want to live in the same house. You can live next door to me. We can have houses side by side. We can have a he shed and a she shed. We ain't living together. I ain't doing your laundry. I ain't being your secretary. I ain't being your mama. I ain't being your therapist. I ain't being your boo boo doctor. Because no, it's gonna take me too long to know whether your mama raised you right. So you stay over there and I'll stay over here and we'll go bowling together and have a good time. I might even cook you dinner, but go back to your house. That's just where I'm at in life. Maybe it's menopause. I don't know. I don't hate men. I'm not against men. I just don't want to live with one. Yep, I love living by myself. I got my grandbabies here, and my kids, but we have like a duplex, so I'm downstairs. I'm kind of by myself. No, I don't want to. I don't want to be anybody else's caretaker or babysitter that's supposed to be my partner. Because I'm not going into business with somebody 50-50 and carry the load and they still get half the profit. That's a bad business plan. I'll pass. I'll just pass on that business plan because I don't think my profit share is going to be equal to the workload that I got to put in. So I'll do my own work. We'll go hang out and eat and go bowling or to a movie, and then you go to your house and I go to mine. That's the world. And if something don't change and they don't stop putting atropine in it, we're not gonna have many more generations. Boys and girls ain't even gonna want to hang out with boys and girls no more. They all gonna be a bunch of sprinkles.
Well, I mean, it is pretty much carved in stone, or was before they blew it up in 2020. I got to
Yeah.
keep the population down. What, 500 million supposedly?
I don't mean nothing by this. I'm not trying to talk no trash about nobody or nothing, but and I'm not trying to be mean about it. I'm Gen X. Like my whole motto in life is rub some damn dirt on it. Stop crying about it. Stop whining about it. I went to Goodwill a while ago. I parent differently than other people do. I try to be a gentle, patient grandparent because I am helping my daughter. I've adopted my grandbaby, so I'm that baby daddy. I'm a baby daddy, everybody. I'm a baby daddy. But I'm in Goodwill a while ago with my bonus kid, just me and her in there, and we were goofing off. They got good music, we're just kind of dancing, looking through stuff. There was this child at the front of the store that's about 6, 7 years old, and he has screamed mama about 972 times. And at no point has she ever given this child her attention, said anything to him, tried to quieten him down, see what was wrong with him. Had he been cut, jabbed, stuck, or is he just a brat like this all the time? Beat his ass. If you got a kid that's going to go out in public and lay down in the middle of an aisle and throw a tantrum, that is the kind of adult that he's going to be if he's not corrected. Because, ladies, just FYI, when you meet that man, you got about a 3% chance, or woman, that they're going to change. Stop falling in love with people's potential. People are who they are when you meet them. They may improve slightly, but there's not going to be no life altering changes. Potential will screw you up every time. Accept them for what they are right then. And if you're not 100% okay with who they are and what they are and how they live, move on. Them's not your people. Don't expect anybody to change as a condition of your love, because I promise you, you will waste 6 years of your life before you know it. You will have regrets. Just saying. There will be regrets. Oh, Shannon, are you up for the tattoo, the 1414 tattoo?
If I can integrate it into something.
Girl, I got a whole body. I can find somewhere to put it if I need to put it on my other thigh and write the whole verse out. Like, I want it. It's Exodus 14:14. That's the one I want. Daniel says he can even relate as a man. Yeah, you have to take people at a certain face value. And like I said, what would Jesus do? How would he handle this situation? But we went in that Goodwill today, and I'm looking around, and there's some 20-year-old dudes in there. Like guys, big guys. You would think they look, high school, early 20s. Like these dudes played on the football team. Them boys over yonder ain't even never seen a football. Like, them is not full-blown boys. I don't know what them is. But those two who appeared to probably be 2022 were the most feminized boys I have seen in quite a while in my little small town. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, Jeffree Star ain't even have nothing on these two. And I'm seeing more and more and more of that. You didn't see that when I was growing up. And it's the chemicals, folks. Every blaming thing they're doing to us in this Truman Show. Little bits and pieces. I hope you're paying attention. We are 24/7. 24/7. If our eyes are open, this crew we got of people is looking, digging, trying to figure out what's true and what ain't. Using discernment to well, we can't listen to that person because we know they got connections over here and we don't trust what they're saying. And so we go to another person in our group and say, "Hey, have you seen this? Have you looked at this? What's your opinion of these facts? Are they real?" And we try to work as a group. But keep reading, keep seeking wisdom, knowledge. We were on the knowledge trail a while ago in Enoch. Curiosity of a child, folks. Anything you want to say before we get off of this 2-hour show we have sit here and run our mouth all evening on?
Um,
Because I got on a rant.
my It's okay because I'm my brain is having a meltdown at this particular moment. I'm getting a bit red over here, so
Well,
I'm keep
Wayne,
your.
I would say in the past 5 years.
But I just want to say everybody that we love you very much. Thank you very much for being our brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ. And if you haven't talked to Jesus today, and this is so important right here, and given him the glory of whatever is amazing in your life and in your world, then please step into that prayer closet and give Jesus some time today and really give him some glory. He is absolutely glorious and deserves every little bit of that glory. And I just wanted to remind you to take some time in rapture and absolute sheer pleasure and joy in Jesus Christ today.
And start realizing that, you know, a lot of us that are watching are neurodivergent. You have that internal monologue with yourself. Turn that monologue to Jesus. The way you talk that problem out in your head, talk to Jesus that way. Talk to your Father in heaven. It don't matter what the problem is. Don't matter if you can't get a lid off a jar. Talk to him. It is the most comforting thing in the world that you can ever do is to have that conversation. It doesn't matter whether it's Jesus, what shoes should I wear with this? I'm gonna be on concrete today. Am I gonna be comfortable? Is this gonna hurt my knees? Call his name for good purpose. Speak to him, talk to him. Be be loud, be emotional. If it brings you to tears, it's okay. Connect. Say what's on your mind. And don't be doing none of these mansy pansy prayers like, Dear Lord, forgive me for my sins. Amen. And go to bed. That's a blanket. That's a blanket prayer. No, you got to repent of what you did. Dear Lord, please forgive me for da 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 da. Make your list. Write it down. Be honest. Take accountability for what you've done. Repent of your sins. Wash yourself in the living water of our Father in heaven and his Son Jesus, who gave his life for us. Is it so much to ask for us to simply do what that man gave his life for? To walk like him, to be like him, to follow him in the way he treats other human beings? What would Jesus do? The door home is narrow. You got to dump that load. You can't go through there like a backpack mule banging the sides of the door. That ain't the way we get in this honky tonk. You got to shed all that and be good with you on the inside and be good with you with the big man upstairs. So be loud, be vocal, be specific. Pray all day. Don't cease praying because the worst you can do is raise your frequency. But I love you all. Anything else, Shannon? And I'll say good night. Thank you all for coming. We had a good time. I know we ran our mouths for 2 hours.
And remember, the more you know.
Ain't it? Ain't it? Puff, puff, pass, everybody. Have a happy Sunday evening. We will see you back Tuesday, approximately 7:30. Checking the community boards. We'll post shorts or, my morning wake and bake. You want to catch up with some of those fantastically high thoughts I have in the morning. But we love you all. We'll see you Tuesday. Subscribe, like, share it with a friend, share it with a family member, share us with somebody.